인공지능의 미래는 경이로움과 걱정을 안고 있습니다. 우리는 AI가 우리의 삶을 변화시킬 잠재력을 탐구하고 그에 따른 문제들에 대해 이야기할 것입니다.
Good evening. I'm Walt Makaborski. This is a deep fake of me speaking in Korean. I don't speak Korean, but AI is a game changer. Here's what I said. The future of artificial intelligence holds wonder and worry. We are about to explore AI's potential to change our lives and talk about the problems that come with it.
Tonight, in a special edition of CBS Austin's Check This Out, the state of artificial intelligence.
It is sort of the Wild West in the sense that, it's new technologies that people are still wrapping their heads around.
What we know about AI today and where AI is going next. Plus,
we had to have the proper guardrails in place.
Our Texas government's already using AI to track your data. We take a look at city and state agencies and how they're implementing AI. And we'll sit down with stakeholders for their real takes on artificial intelligence. Tonight, we take a look at AI in Austin.
Whether you're aware or not, artificial intelligence is all around you as more and more businesses and even government agencies are implementing it. Texas lawmakers are looking at how to regulate it. My co-host this evening is CBS Austin, Michael Atkinson, who has been digging into exactly how the city and the state are using AI.
Well, before we get into that, it's beneficial to look at exactly what artificial intelligence is as a concept. Whether you know it or not, AI is all around us, and it has been for some time.
Artificial intelligence is not a very easy to define concept, partly because there's not really a clear definition even for intelligence. What does it mean to be intelligent? Are only people intelligent? Is a dog showing intelligence? What does that mean?
But the prevalence of artificial intelligence is obvious, even if the concept has been researched for decades. Think of HAL in 2001: A Space Odyssey, or even Siri on your phone.
AI is everywhere now. Just in your cell phone alone, social media accounts that tailor content specifically for you that's driven by AI, GPS tracking, tailored ads, and so just in your pocket, there's 4 or 5 different types of AI, not to mention self-driving cars on the road and AI used in HR decisions and everywhere else.
But we're in the midst of a peak, with programs like ChatGPT all but revolutionizing the way we process information. No two AI programs are exactly the same, but they all involve a level of coding and computer science, as well as information input. But that's the million-dollar question. Can you teach a program not just to regurgitate information, but to create intelligence? And even if we can generate AI, should we?
I think people are more scared than is warranted with the current technologies about the sort of about the real, real disastrous consequences. I think people are maybe less scared than they should be about the near-term effects of misinformation and psychological effects of social media that AI plays a role in.
Another major concern of AI comes from its use in law enforcement. Where should governments draw the line between streamlining their work and Big Brother-esque surveillance?
There's also the question of legality. Does law enforcement's use of AI hold up in a court of law? Police departments in cities like Oklahoma City, Lafayette, Indiana, and Fort Collins, Colorado, are using AI to write up police reports, according to an Associated Press investigation. In San Antonio, the city and police department are planning to test several security cameras around the city. Those would be monitored around the clock by officers and by artificial intelligence.
We reached out to the Austin Police Department to see exactly how they're implementing artificial intelligence. In a statement, an APD spokesperson says the Austin Police Department is weighing the pros and cons related to different aspects of the work we do from an investigative standpoint. With technology evolving quickly, it would make sense to explore how AI could benefit us as a law enforcement agency to make us more efficient and effective. Any use would need to be evaluated as part of a citywide approval process.
We spoke with Council Member Vanessa Fuentes about how the city and APD should implement AI, including with the department's license plate readers.
Having this type of technology that essentially is doing massive surveillance on individuals who are not suspected of a crime, we had to have the proper guardrails in place. We have seen countless examples throughout our history of where massive surveillance has been used to have a disproportionate impact on Black and brown communities and marginalized communities. So we have to be vigilant on how we're utilizing this type of technology.
At the state level, we do know the Department of Public Safety is also working to implement AI in its practice, including with that high level of surveillance. CBS Austin obtained documents through an open records request detailing a contract between the state police and an AI company called Penlink. Penlink uses AI to scrape the internet for data that can be used in investigations. In some cases, that can even include geofencing, a process where investigators could track data from individual cell phones to determine their locations. We reached out to DPS for clarification on how they would use Penlink. We did not hear back.
And DPS isn't the only state agency using artificial intelligence today. A number of state departments are rolling out plans to use AI or have begun to do so already.
And now lawmakers are evaluating to what extent they should rein in AI.
Public awareness of artificial intelligence may still be emerging, but Texas state agencies are already implementing it. Whether you know it or not, that may include data on you. For example, the Texas Department of Transportation is piloting a program using traffic cameras to monitor driving patterns and road hazards. Last year, the Texas legislature passed House Bill 2060, creating the state's AI Advisory Council, tasked with evaluating how state agencies are using artificial intelligence. Senator Tan Parker is one of the two lawmakers on that council.
The challenge that we have is to study all things AI.
That includes regulating exactly how those state agencies are and will be implementing AI.
There's a lot of exciting upside, innovative potential, but we have to manage the downside. There is very significant and grave concerns if we don't manage the downside of AI, and we've got to find that right balance and do it in a Texas-friendly way.
The AI Advisory Council is expected to produce a report by December with policy recommendations to the legislature. And that doesn't just pertain to private companies and citizens, but to governments too. For example, the Department of Health and Human Services declined our request for an interview, but testified before the AI Advisory Council about balancing privacy concerns.
We are keenly focused on being deliberate in our strategy because our priority is to protect and safeguard the data of all of the sensitive health data that we have.
TxDOT was also unavailable for an interview, but they're piloting programs using AI on traffic cameras to detect crashes, roadway debris, and more.
The scary thing about artificial intelligence is that it enables both the collection of the data and then interpretation of data in a way that a single human, or even a team of 10 human beings would just not be capable of. And so whether or not that needs to be regulated on the back end, even if people are willingly consenting to the collection of that data, is a big question.
You saw some of the technology at the beginning of the show, how an Austin company is merging AI and entertainment. The University of Texas at Austin has dedicated 2024 as the year of AI. Both faculty and students have spent the year researching and studying artificial intelligence. More than that, they're looking at how to better prepare for the future of AI.
Just as we've seen in the past, there is promise and there is peril. So we must understand AI and we must be equipped. We must look at the skills we need, whether it's upskilling or reskilling, for the future.
UT ranks as one of the top schools for artificial intelligence. One of their most prominent projects is training robots in military and national security. Still ahead, we sit down with leaders in the industry as they answer your questions surrounding artificial intelligence. The power of AI is mind-blowing, and this is just the beginning. From creating entertainment content to writing computer programs, it's a game changer. But it also has a dark side, from deep fakes to eliminating jobs. Either way, we all have to navigate this brave new world. Check this out.
특히 18륜 트럭과 도로를 공유할 때 더
Korean. أطلقت 30 يونيكورن تقوم بإنشاء مقر في تكس Arabic. Het lijkt iets uit Star Trek, maar hologramtechnologie is nu hier. And Dutch. 3 languages I don't know, but with AI, I can speak fluently. It's not perfect yet, but pretty close. All of those videos were generated with an AI language tool on a website called HeyGen that anyone can use.
That is one of the most amazing aspects of this technology, just this idea that we could start to communicate with the world seamlessly, like any language.
Steve Mudd is the CEO and founder of Talentless AI. a next-gen creative studio that uses AI to create marketing content. He says the wonder of AI is mind-boggling.
Generative AI in particular represents the greatest collection of storytelling capabilities and frameworks and knowledge ever assembled.
They don't call it Death Valley for nothing, and coyotes don't make a good pet.
Steve created these movie clips using AI tools from Midjourney, Luma, Runway, and 11 Labs. These people don't exist.
We're probably 3 to 6 months out from seeing the world's first feature-length AI film.
Steve also had some fun with cat videos and making me look like I have some dance moves. But he showed me how easy it is to make synthetic media, where the wonder of AI turns to worry.
Synthetic media is where you take sort of aspects of real life, where you can start to clone people's voices. You hear about deep fakes.
And he used my image and voice.
So I had taken a clip of your voice. Obviously there's lots of clips of your voice out there. So I was able to create a clone of your voice and basically layer it over the top of my voice.
In a year where everybody was talking about artificial intelligence, at the end of the day, real intelligence matters.
And then to take it a step further, I took a picture of you and put your face on top of my face.
In a year where everybody was talking about artificial intelligence, at the end of the day, real intelligence matters.
How are we going to be able to tell the difference?
You can't. You can't. It comes down to media savvy, understanding where am I seeing this content? What is the greater context of it? Is it coming from a trusted source like CBS? Or is it coming from some random website that's been designed to look like a real website? It's the same problem we've been dealing with, really since social media took over. Like, where is that information coming from?
And this is just the beginning.
And there's no sign of it slowing down.
Joining us today is Abigail Maines, Chief Revenue Officer with Hidden Layer, and Daniel Collada, the Chief Innovation Officer for the City of Austin.
Also joining us are Texas State Representative Mihaela Plisa and CEO and Chief Scientist for IGO, Peter Voss.
Where are we in terms of artificial intelligence? How robust is it? How is it working? Where are we with the technology?
Yes, so over the last few years, there's been tremendous growth and progress in the field of AI. And of course, particularly in the last 2 years where we've now had ChatGPT, generative AI, and it just does phenomenal things. However, on the trajectory to real AI, to AGI, to true human level AI, we really, in a way, on the wrong path. In fact, the chief scientist for Meta, for Facebook, Jan LeCun, recently said that large language models are an off-ramp to AGI, a distraction, a dead end. So why is that? Well, these large language models now consume an insane amount of power, and they cannot learn interactively. So people are talking about building models that may cost $100 billion. Billions of dollars, take months to create. You use them for a few months and then you throw them away because they cannot learn interactively. So it's really on the wrong path at the moment.
So I wanted to ask you about those security safeguards, and there's a viewer question. A viewer who wishes to remain anonymous asked, how do you allow AI to foster positive experiences while instituting safeguards and privacy when the entire premise of AI is based on machine learning?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and there's lots of different ways to do that. We take an automated sort of tool approach. I think there's also, you can start with employee or personal training. Basically, just like when we first had to roll out new technologies, we said, do you know what you're doing? You're putting confidential data in this. You're not allowed to put confidential data in this. So just training is like step one. Step two would be there's definitely guardrails in the foundational LLM. So when you're thinking about things like ChatGPT or Azure, OpenAI, ChatGPT, those are all sort of big foundational models that we're all interacting with, whether we know it or not. They have guardrails built into them. And then, of course, companies like Hidden Layer exist to provide additional efficacy on top of those guardrails. We are seeing attacks. We're definitely seeing adversarial activity. Adversaries go after attractive targets. Attractive targets would include things like banking, the financial sector, highly regulated organizations like the federal government, both in the United States and globally. So that's generally where we're seeing the most sort of prevalent adversarial activity today.
Thank you, Abigail. AI in Austin. We'll be right back. And we have a a question from a viewer now. This is for Daniel. A question from a viewer named James. Are we protecting people's job security from being replaced by artificial intelligence? And how do we make sure people don't get left behind as our city continues to grow and integrate this technology?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think improving AI literacy and making sure people have the training they need to use these tools effectively across many different types of jobs and sectors is really key. We do want to make sure at the city organization that we're considering these as tools that people use, not replacements for people. So we're really devoted to training our large workforce, making resources available for the community, making sure that everyone has equitable access to these tools that they can bring forward into their jobs.
Representative Lisa, another question from a viewer that we received was specifically about the role that the state government is going to play. That viewer asked, exactly how is it that the legislature is going to protect me from artificial intelligence? What would you say to that?
Well, you know, I was really honored to have sponsored a couple of bills last session that were passed into law, one specifically dealing with children and deepfakes and pornography, right? And so we're, like I said, trying to create spaces to keep people safe. We have seen with the advancements of artificial intelligence that people are using people's images without their knowledge, their voice without their knowledge, right? And so we want to create legislation that is protecting people and letting people know that they can't do those types of things. There's also a space, right, in the legislature to create invisible watermarks, right? So that when you are creating AI-generated you know, videos or whatever it is, imagery, that there's going to be an invisible watermark there to let people know this was created using AI. This was not, you know, a human journalist that sat down and wrote this or a videographer that created this image. So that's a little bit of the kind of places that the legislature is dabbing their feet.
We'll continue this special on AI when we come back.
Our full town hall will be streaming in just a few minutes online at cbsaustin.com.
Thank you for watching AI in Austin, a Tech This Out special. I'm Walt Macaborski.
And I'm Michael Atkinson. Have a good night.